Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to WCS NA Challenger here at the Blizzard Arena. We are getting ready to hop into our last series of the day, of the groups entirely for Season 1 of WCS NA Challenger. My name is Fear Dragon, and I am joined by Nathanius now for this last match. How you feeling about this last match? I think that's a general consensus of how I'm feeling as well. It's going to be Bioice versus NoRegreT. This is a fun match. I think Nate and Kat's already talked about it, but these are two players that have a deep history between each other. NoRegreT, originally told by Bioice, they were sitting in a computer lab, in fact. NoRegreT was sitting there, Bioice encountered him and said, "Oh, you play StarCraft?" He's like, "Yeah." Bioice is Grandmaster at the time. NoRegreT is like Platinum. Says, "Okay, so what do I do?" Bioice is like 14 pool, 14 gas. One of the two, or 14 gas, 14 pool. And that's how NoRegreT got his name.
And thus a dirty cheeser was born. Some people thought it would be like one of the Alien movies or something, you know, like it takes over a person and it comes out. But turns out you could just tell people to cheese and they'll do it.
Yeah. That's all you need to spawn a demon like NoRegreT. But
and he's made it to GSL Code S better than most of the other people who say that cheesing is not a legit way to play the games.
Yeah.
He's made more money than you. Get wrecked.
But Bioice now has to play his Frankenstein. Oh, actually, no. Frankenstein was the... I know, chat. Frankenstein was the doctor or whatever. He was the scientist, but he has to play his monster.
I'm just gonna stick on the Obi-Wan Anakin here, okay?
Okay, you know, I
gotta
can
win
dig
the
it,
first round. Let's just pretend this is episode 7 or whatever, and he's gonna get his revenge. We'll see if the prodigy can come out on top.
Well, NoRegreT, I know that he has been focusing and diverting a lot of his attention, I should say, onto other things that are not playing. Bioice is this really weird guy where he's like always seems to be competitive, but never seems to be fully invested into just playing StarCraft and getting super duper good. He's always just, you know, plays a lot of time or puts a lot of time into StarCraft as much as he enjoys, and then he's just focused on school for the rest of it.
Yeah. The series is going to start off on Catalyst. We've already seen this ZvZ matchup before. It was the first series that we had out of the NA group today. We did see NoRegreT fall. He tried to play a straight-up macro game. Bioice smacked him across the face. Then he tried to cheese him, and Bioice smacked him across the face. So let's find out if NoRegret's going to bring some sharper cheddar or if he's going to let it age a little more than usual.
All right, best of 3 to determine who is going to be the last player to advance out of Group D into the playoffs. Spawning down here in the bottom right, we have our blue Zerg player. It is Nerd Street Gamers NoRegreT.
NoRegreT. He faces off against the red Zerg player in the northwest. He is Bioice.
NoRegreT. He was still, despite not necessarily having all of his attention focused on the pro gaming lifestyle right now, he was still expecting to advance out of the group. To quote him, he said, "I'm not Jesus, so something can happen," but he still was expecting to be able to beat someone like Bioice, and maybe only really losing to Puck. So I think he's still hoping he can make it out at this point.
Yeah, I mean, this group went in an interesting way because really Puck played a phenomenal set of games today, and I don't think he would disagree with me when I say that if Puck was not in his zone, I think he would have really struggled in this group. He's a player that's very, you know, if he wakes up and he's feeling good, you know, he gets whatever his routine is. If he's able to follow through on that and feel good going into his matches, then I think he is one of the best Protoss players you're going to see in the American or even in the foreign scene on certain days. But if he's not feeling that, he usually ends up really slipping in his gameplay. It really shows. So this group was a little bit wide open because we have to ask ourselves at the start of the day, which Puck is showing up to this, because Bioice, he could have made it out of this group, and it could be Puck NoRegreT, and NoRegreT might just cheese Puck out, you know?
Yeah, I feel like this has been the most uncertain group of the entirety of Challenger, because you have, like you said, Puck, who has highs as tall as the Himalayan mountains and as low as the Grand Canyon.
Mariana's Trench.
I mean, the
That's
trench
as low
as well.
as you can get.
That is as low as you can get. Then you also have Raze, who just race switch, and everyone has a bunch of question marks. How is this guy really going to be able to do? You have NoRegreT, who's sort sort of split in between his attention, and he's just in general a pretty volatile player who can qualify for GSL Code S, but also lose to a lot of players that are just not exactly considered amazing at the same time.
Yeah.
And then you have Bioice, who's also, I would say, a fairly inconsistent player in a lot of ways because of his own weird take on what standard is to him.
Yeah, that's a fair point to bring up. And I wonder if we're going to see the focus on the aggression this game. NoRegreT is putting out a few lings already with his speed coming close to completing. I feel like you got to just try to stick to your bread and your butter. And for NoRegreT, that's lings and banes, boys. Bring him out, get the aggression going, try to kill Bioice. He's already committing everything he has to these Zerglings.
Okay, +1.
This has to be a fake out, right? Like, I feel like +1 wouldn't finish in time for an attack hit when speed's done.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he can go for an eventual +1 or +1 melee, and then he can eventually utilize that. But his spawning pool speed upgrade is going to be finishing a lot earlier than his opponents. Bioice, though, has he actually seen anything to trigger?
He's only building lings.
You just saw the lings moving across the map, though. Now he's got the banelings morphing in. He's going to try and make as many as possible. 4 are on the way. Is 4 going to be enough?
It's going to be tricky. It really comes down to the control here. He wanted to dive on those eggs. He's got to be so careful. The Banes get some detonations off, cleaning up a lot of the lings. But now that the Banelings are all gone, that Speedling flood is coming in, surrounding Bioice's queens. And the Banelings are going to come in and try to pick up the drones that are being used to defend against this. Blows them up to high hell. And the lings are all over the workers of Bioice.
Oh, this is a huge problem. The Banelings are going to continue to deny the drones any attempt at defending.
GG!
NoRegreT takes the first game and says, no, to hell with the first series. I got a new strategy. Let's make this happen.
Yeah, NoRegreT. Just like we foretold, he has embraced the power of the dark side and takes an edge here in the start of our final series of the day, despite losing to Bioice earlier in this group. I don't have anything else to add to that. It was, he cheesed him, and Bioice just didn't see it coming for some reason.
Yeah, that's such a NoRegreT thing. NoRegreT is one of those players that also just lives up to that name. I think sometimes he'll try and dive into the macro and stuff, but he lives his life by the ideology of no regrets and just YOLOing whatever he does. He says, you know what? People are going to hate me. People are going to dislike me. People are going to discredit my accomplishments of getting GSL Code S twice.
Just
I don't care.
I'm a cheeser? I don't care.
I don't care. I got it.
Doesn't matter Code S.
Yeah. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter Code S.
That is pretty much the exact sentiment that NoRegreT constantly carries himself with.
Hey man, if I could 2-rax Marine SCV all in my way to Code S and people just called me the worst person ever for it, I would do it. If I thought I could, yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
I definitely feel that sentiment. I mean, if I could do the same thing with Blink DTs or something, I would do that as well.
Yeah.
Well, of course, that does mean that NoRegreT in a ZvZ, you always feel good when you're up 1-0 in a best-of-3 or something, because you're like, just one more game.
I wonder what he's going to do this game. It's on Eastwatch. It's a big map.
There are different types of Ling, Bailing, all-ins and stuff, and you have to also remember that NoRegreT is playing from Korea. Going for a lot of the early Ling, Bailing aggression is a little bit dangerous when you're playing versus someone who's playing from North America. They don't have the ping to deal with. You do, so there's some dangers involved there, but NoRegreT is just so damn good at the Ling, Bailing control.
Yep. And I expect to see him leverage that advantage because playing other styles did not work out so well for him earlier today. Let's see what he can bring to the table as we go to the biggest map, the big boy map of Eastwatch. NoRegreT has a chance to close things out. We are loaded in. GLHFs have been exchanged. And in the bottom left, we have the Red Zerg player who needs to win 2 maps in a row to keep his WCS Challenger dreams alive. He's Bioice.
And his opponent up at the top right, we have our blue Zerg player. It is NoRegreT from good old Nerd Street Gamers, organizer of Cheeseadelphia. Another awesome StarCraft event that's happening.
Is NoRegreT from the Northeast? Is he actually from that
he's
area?
Okay, here's...
He's like,
he's from Canada. He's Canadian.
But I'm like, he's Canadian, isn't he?
In fact, he's so Canadian and so not from the Philadelphia area.
Look at that heart. Oh, did you see that?
Yeah, he does that.
He loves us.
Yeah.
That one was...
I think he just loves Huck.
No, he was sending that message to me. That was
Just specifically to you.
That was the DM through WCS official stream.
There you go, man.
That one's in my pocket now.
It's not so direct, actually, is it?
Is he from East or West Canada then?
Oh, he's I think he's from the I want to say he's from the Toronto area because
Okay.
I remember it was the great thing. Cheesadelphia sponsors him, and Nerd Street, I should say, Nerd Street Gamers sponsors him, who runs Cheesadelphia in Philadelphia.
Well, then he's still an East Coast, Beast Coast boy.
He's also one of those players that basically never gets to go for Cheesadelphia because I think he had trouble getting his visa for United States to go. Pretty much all of the past 4 or 5 of them. So it's a little irony there.
I got no defense for that. I don't find Canadians threatening at all. You can come win our tournaments. It's okay. We love you guys.
Yeah, you know, NoRegret's also he's a friendly guy, but at the same time he's also NoRegret. He's the guy who will cheese you in your face. There's a couple of aggressive Canadians out there.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you gotta do it. You do it for the lulz. You know, I think that's what the kids say these days. So.
Oh, if there were ever a memer, it'd be you and Jake.
Yeah. So it's a big map, making that one base-ish aggression not really a thing. Not something that you can do so much. If you want to be aggressive, I guess you could try, but
you know there are some. As mentioned this
you don't
before,
expect it as much because it's a big map, so it's that weird mind game garbage.
Every map that has a gold base, I feel like, is a NoRegret map to some extent because he just has so many builds that he loves throwing out with that gold base. And okay, well, look, speak of the devil, we do have the drone making its way over to the gold, and this is typically where you end up seeing maybe in a minute or two, NoRegret might make those choices and deviate him toward the more all-in potential of a ZvZ.
Yeah, all right. I do like this. Going for the gold base, keeping that confidence as you were talking about. Gold base equals NoRegret base. Baneling nests are coming in as Link Speed gets close to finishing. It's pretty mirror, really, except for which third base is being taken. That could make all of the difference, though, for NoRegret. If he decides to lean heavily into a big Ling Flood or go for a Roach follow-up where he can dump those minerals.
Oh, that's so cute. He knocks down the rocks, but he puts his Lings on the correct side so he can go after his opponent's third base and just lower the hit points. It doesn't seem like a big deal, but if NoRegret is going to power off into a bunch of Ling aggression.
Look at the production tab. There we go.
Oh, both of these players actually pumping out non-stop Lings and Banelings. And NoRegret is going to get found out by these Lings of Bioice, so he's going to have to cancel both of these, maybe? Oh, no. He's keeping them busy.
Yeah, well, the extra Lings are showing up. He's going for the backup. He wants to save. Wants to maximize the value of every Zergling that he can, but speed is done for Bioice, and he's going to get on top of these forces. He's already got Banelings ready to rock and roll, but that Baneling coming in from behind.
Oh!
Ooh, eats a Baneling shot. That's a bit of a slip up there from Bioice.
Yeah, okay, one more Baneling ability to take out that Baneling of NoRegret, but it's doing a good job. It trades out 2 for 1 effectively, and it's continuing to get some good damage on NoRegret's Ling Baneling control. When he does this almost every single game, you have to imagine the player gets pretty good at that control.
Yeah, this is one of those scenarios. You trade 2 for 2 Banes. All right, he's the defender, so he can reinforce a little bit more easily. He's okay. Got real close to them Lings. Now he's gonna pop to the Queens, but he wants to settle for the third base if he can.
It doesn't have any more Banelings, so he has to be so careful. The Banelings are coming in. He
so committed. A lot of those Lings die. He does get a few of them out, but he's got to be really worried about the counterattack now.
Oh, he's got to be extremely worried. I mean, you can rely potentially on some good Baneling connections to keep you alive a bit longer. Third base was taken, but he doesn't even mind from it. Okay, this is a true NoRegret style thing. Going for a gold and not mining from it, but he does get a couple of drones out. He's going to have to protect them, but he also sees the Lings making their way along the south side of the map.
Yep, Roach Horn's going to start up so you don't spend that money. 2 Banelings, by the way, are about to walk to that gold mineral line and blow those
up all 3 drones. All 1 drone.
Wow.
Cost efficient. Well, the Lings over here for Bioice, we were talking about this before, they're in overwhelming numbers. They're going to be able to surround and pick off all of these Lings for NoRegret, pecking off the Queen. No Banelings over here, a couple of them starting to waddle on forward.
He brought everything over to the gold, and the creep spread is non-existent, so the Banelings can't really catch up that quickly, and a great bit of damage inflicted by Bioice.
I mean, he can even turn around and take out that Ling and maybe make a couple of Banelings of his own.
It's important to mention right now that I was going to say there's no third base being milled for Bioice. He's only just now restarted it. So, NoRegret losing that much doesn't hurt him too bad because he still has the gold to work with. So, even with similar drone counts, It's just more cash, money, cash, money, cash.
He's not out of it by any means just yet. Bailey trading out for 2 lings, not exactly ideal for NoRegreT in this situation as the defender, but he's going to have that gold-based mining, so if he's able to utilize those 35 workers, he's going to be in a good spot, but oh my god, so many Banelings.
Pull up quite a few. Doesn't make it to the drones, though. Gets Larva.
Yeah, it does get some of the larva and softens up some of these workers. There's also picking off workers over by that third base finally.
Yeah, really trying to neutralize that gold base advantage. And he's got the third, but he's still just flooding out Zerglings. He knows he needs to do more about that gold. And once the roaches come out, it's going to get super complicated.
In all honesty, I feel like if you had just taken the player names away, I would have told you that Bioice was NoRegreT in this situation because he is the player that is just so committed to making this happen. He's finally droning up a little bit, but he's been sitting on 23 or 24 workers for so long, and NoRegreT still holding strong at 31, a solid advantage. He's finally getting kind of caught up. But Bioice, I feel like, is going to be suffering a lot from having that lower worker count in the form of those roaches you were talking about.
Yep. Yeah, the roaches are really nice. I mean, you're getting larva efficiency out of the roaches in that scenario because you can dump a ton of your resources into them. You can get a lot of those roaches out. They can trade well against the lings. And since that third base, first of all, even if he saturates it, it's not a gold, so it's not as good as the third base that NoRegreT.
Oh,
he has to do even more. And the fact that NoRegret's already getting back on the offensive after all of that defending is so sick. He's going to try to punch this one in and get that second win and advance out of the group right here, but I don't know that he has quite enough to do it yet.
He has more lings streaming across the map. A couple more Banelings also being made. I mean, the reinforcements for NoRegreT are coming out in huge droves, so I do think he still has the potential to do something here. He's also taking out a lot of these roaches and these lings as they're popping out here for Bioice. NoRegreT, he's getting damage done to the actual economy now. This is where the magic happens as the Banelings come rolling in and they don't quite make the connections.
Yeah, this game has been so intense. These roaches coming out, the drones barely trying to hold on. Of course, that income discrepancy is going to be really rough because he's not even able to utilize the third base with those workers that he has.
Okay, Roach is moving a little too far out. NoRegreT, he's going to pounce on him. He's going to get the queen. He's going to get all four of these roaches.
Around. GG, NoRegreT finishes with the 2-0 over Bioice. And, yep, okay, he went back to tried and true NoRegreT for this series. And we see as, yeah, there you go, Vader wins.
The curse prevails as well. NoRegreT loses to Bioice initially, comes back and defeats him in the decider match, as the curse always seems to show. And now he locks himself down that final spot in the playoffs. Last player to advance out.
Too shabby, Ravi.
Yeah, NoRegreT's going to be pretty happy with that, I'm sure, as he gets, of course, the honor of facing off versus one of the first seeds in that playoffs, which is a single elimination 8-player bracket.
Yep, that concludes the group stage of Challenger. We have those players for both regions. We'll be going through those 8-man brackets on May 12th for Europe, I believe, and May 13th will be the North American conclusion. So lots of games of StarCraft coming your way. I'm really excited, you know, seeing how players like Puck can fare, Neeb, and then some of the other underdogs that we looked at in the other groups as well.
Indeed. Well, of course, in case you guys missed any of the other groups or even just some of the games from today, you guys can see that we had some pretty awesome and exciting matches. NoRegreT, of course, we mentioned this before, losing that first series to Bioice, where Bioice was able to take a 2-0. And, of course, Puck able to take that 2-1 series versus Raze, who had recently race swapped. We also had NoRegreT taking the 2-0 versus Raze in that losers match, advancing on to the decider match. Puck taking the 2-0 over Bioice to advance his spot over to the playoffs. And our final match that we just saw, NoRegreT taking that 2-0 versus Bioice, becomes the second player.
A lot of 2-0s, but some exciting games. I think the Puck series were really interesting to watch. Really good, clean Protoss play. I'm a huge fanboy of Puck, so you can just ignore everything I said because he's one of my favorite American players. But yeah, overall, good games. The European side of things earlier today was also exciting. We got to see Stefano bring a little bit of that old flame back.
Yeah.
In a very nice result that he had this morning, too.
Yeah, the European games today were also really awesome. And as much as you were talking about a lot of 2-0s today, a lot of 2-1s from Europe.
Yep, the European part of this broadcast this morning went for quite a while. Good, a lot of really good games. Definitely suggest checking those out. But yeah, happy. I'm excited for the conclusion to Challenger in a few weeks.
Me too. And of course, in case you again missed any of the players that made it out of their groups, we got the full list right here. Neeb and Jon Snow from Group A. We had Scarlet and Semper from Group B. We had Masa and Panda Bear Me from Group C. And of course, Group D, Puck and Bioice. I mean, this list just looks solid,
Puck and
strong.
NoRegreT.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So and Puck and NoRegreT coming out of this Group D. That's a
sorry, Puck and NoRegreT. Yeah,
you're looking at the cream of the crop of NA. And I'm glad that Panda Bear Me gets the opportunity to show a little bit more of his gameplay. He had a great story to tell at IEM Pyeongchang, and looking forward to seeing how well he does in the bracket. He's definitely one of the weaker links, probably current performance-wise, I'd say, with Puck, just based on Puck's, he's his up and downs. So I'm excited to see how those guys fare.
Yeah, I'm especially excited, like you said. I'm glad you highlighted Panda Bear Me because he's one of those players I think has a lot on the line, not just in terms of all the small things that are going on or the medium-sized things of, I want to get better at this game. I want to make a name for myself. He is one of those players that's been full-time for so long. He hasn't seen that huge payoff yet from these multiple years that he's invested into StarCraft, putting a lot of his life into it. And he has been looking for that payoff. And I think this might be one of those big opportunities for him.
Yeah, excited to see where it goes.
All
been
right.
Fun casting with you, Ravi.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, while we may be done with the broadcast here today, you should be sure to check out next weekend on May 5th, IEM Sydney. We're going to have the live finals for WCS ANZ Challenger. And that's going to be especially exciting. All you have to do, hit that follow button on this Twitch channel.
Yeah.
Or twitch.tv/StarCraft.
It'll be right here. And this channel is also where you'll be able to check out the wonderful content. The WCS circuit starts up soon. I'm super hyped. It's going to be at WCS Austin, which will be right by DreamHack in June. The first 3 days. Start your summer off the right way. Start it off with StarCraft.
That's a good way to close it out. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for tuning in for WCS NA Challenger. We're here from the Blizzard Arena. And we thank you all so much for tuning in for all the group stages. We'll be back in about 2 weeks with those wonderful playoffs for Europe and North America. We'll see you guys then.